So it is Wednesday, it's Memorial Day week, so it's a short week. I'm tired per usual this morning. I'm on my way to school, and y'all, I'm about to be late for the first time. It's too soon to be late, but there's so much traffic, y'all. When people tell you about Atlanta traffic, believe them, because it is so real. Let's see, how's school been going? School's been going pretty good. I got 2 reality checks in 2 days. I have to tell you all about them. I guess I can just tell you now. My friend was like, she's a 2L at Howard Law, and she was like, how's law school going? I'm like, it's going good. I feel like I don't do enough work though. And she was like, what do you do? And I was like, I just read and take notes. And she was like, no, you're not doing enough. There's so much more you could be doing. You could be looking at supplements. You could be doing practice problems and just this whole list of stuff that I could be doing. And my second reality check is, y'all, the police right here. I gotta lay low. Okay, my second reality check is I signed up to be in the public interest dinner. So it's like every month they bring in a public interest attorney or lawyer, and we have dinner with them, and that's what I'm interested in. So I signed up for it. And hold on, let me drive past the police, y'all. Okay, I'm back. So I signed up for said dinner, and yesterday Balsa had an academic success banquet. Seminar as well. So the 2 events, of course, had a time click. So it's the dinner or the academic success seminar. And I chose to go to the dinner because I had signed up for this program and I was accepted, and people were denied. So ultimately I felt like I had a duty to go. Oh gosh, I'm using legal terminology. I was supposed to go because I had signed up for this event, and they turned people away. And then so one of my Boston mentors texted me, and he's like, where you at? And I told him, he was like, well, you ain't gonna need to network if your grades ain't good. And I was like, dang, like he just played my whole life. This is actually really serious. So, yeah, I gotta get my life, y'all. So this video is gonna be about me getting my life. Yay! Hey y'all, how you doing? So I told y'all that I was gonna get my life together this week, but I told y'all that Monday? Or did I tell you? When did I tell? I don't know. Whenever I made that first part of the video. But it is Saturday, and my life is still not together. It looked together because I look good and my hair laid and mine is still a scarf thing, but my academic life is not together. I got this little desk, so my life looks together, and you see the books up here. Yeah, they're just there. They haven't really been getting much use. So I'm actually going to sit down right now, not in a chair, because I don't have a chair at my desk yet. I'm working on that. But I'm actually going to sit down and do some reading. I'm going to show you guys how I like read my textbooks, how I take notes, and then maybe how I outline. I really don't know how to outline yet. I just attempted to outline, and I'm going to do me when it comes to outlining. So yeah, let's have a study party. So I'm going to do some reading for torts. Torts is, what are torts? Torts are any civil action other than contracts. So there's battery, assault, the most interesting ones. There's also false imprisonment, but there's also negligence and other stuff. You'll learn about that when you get to law school. But yeah, we're currently on page 145. We do about 17 pages of reading a night. Sometimes a lot less depending on how much we cover in class. So when you sit down to read for law school, you need your casebook, which is this. You also need a pen and a highlighter. And then you will need a computer to take notes, or paper. I prefer a computer to take notes just because paper, I would be so unorganized if I use paper, y'all. I would have stuff everywhere. But yeah, so what I like to do is first read the case through and like highlight things that I think are important, and then I go back through and like reread and type up the important stuff. So I say I read every case about 1.5 times. I read the case 1 time, the whole thing one time, and then the half is like the important stuff. I just read that a second time as I type it up. And it's been working pretty well for me. I did get cold called in torts, which is the class I'm about to read for, last week, and I knew the answer to one of my questions. In the second question, I knew nothing, but that's because it wasn't in the text of the book. It was just like going above and beyond, and he called on like 8 people and nobody knew what he was talking about, so I actually didn't really feel bad. So yeah. So this is stuff that I've already read. This book is used, so like the yellow highlight is stuff that someone else has done. And so this is what I'm going to be reading: Potter v. Firestone and Firestone Tire and Rubber Co. So the case is kind of long. Not all of them are this long. And then at the end of the case, it has like little questions that you can do just to know if you like covered it all. So I'm going to read this and I'll show you guys what I ended up highlighting and such. So I just read the case and now it is time to take notes. I just read a lot, y'all, and I probably didn't retain much of it because I'm not in a study mood, so I'm probably gonna stop after this. But the case was pretty much about some people living next to a landfill, and because they were living next to this landfill, they were exposed to carcinogens, and so they feared that they were gonna get cancer, and now they're suing. So when it comes to note taking, I truly believe that OneNote is the best note taking system for law school. So I have a tab for every class. Right now I'm doing torts, and then I have a side tab or like a notebook page for every chapter that we discuss. I like OneNote a lot because you can like do half and half. So over here I do like my case brief and my own notes, and over here I take my class notes, so I can like differentiate between the two. What I do is I have this other tab with my case brief template. So in law school they say you should brief every case because it helps you prepare for class, just in case you get cold called, and it also just helps you learn the materials. So yeah, I've been briefing every case, y'all. I can say I haven't skipped a case. One contracts class, I like Googled the case brief because I was just lost and I hate contracts. But every other class I have tried to create my own case briefs. So this is what a case brief looks like. So this is my template, and right here I'm gonna type in the title of the case, which is Potter. Okay, so in procedural history, you'll talk about like what the lower courts decided and how we got to where we are now, because most of the time these are like Supreme Court cases or they've been appealed. The issue is the question what the case tries to answer. The facts of the case talks about the actual case itself, like what happened, who's involved, who's who, what they do. The rule of law is like the decision, not the decision, it's the law that develops from the case, or the law that the case is discussing. The reasoning is like why the court reasoned. I can't explain something using the word Bria. The reasoning is like the explanation for why the case decided the way it did, and the holding is like, was the lower court affirmed, denied, and what do future courts have to look at when looking at this case? That honestly probably made no sense. So yeah, I honestly don't know what to tell y'all. Case briefing is really hard. Actually, it's not really hard. Let me not discourage y'all. It's actually really easy, but when you first start law school, there'll be like 1,000,001 how to brief your case classes, and you can just go. It'll be like 30 minutes, and they'll probably be free food, and they'll tell you how to brief a case. So this is honestly something I would not worry about at all. Also, the clue for finding your issue is whether, the word whether, and the clue for holding is the word holding. Y'all, it's really, I don't know why I said case briefing was hard, because it's not. It's just tedious. A lot of things in law school are tedious though. Since I can't explain holding, I'll read you guys my holding for this case. I kind of told you what it was about. So recovery for infliction of emotional distress in the absence of physical injury should be allowed, and that's just my holding. So that's like the rule that I got from this case. And in my rule of law, I go in more in depth about the places where it should be allowed, because it told me that in the case. But yeah, so some helpful tips for when you're case briefing. I always just call plaintiff P and defendant D, because it takes up so much time to just type up plaintiff and defendant so many times. And when I first started case briefing, I was writing like paragraphs for the facts. But now I only write like 3 or 4 sentences of the most important information, because you really don't need to know all that. You just need to, because you did read it. And so like once you read a few facts that like trigger your brain, you can remember what the case was about, or you can just go back and look at it again if you need additional facts. So yeah. So I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about outlining, because I'm sure when people talk to you guys about law school, they say like outline, outline, outline. As long as you outline, you're fine. Alright, so this is how my outline started. So these are like all the topics that are covered in the book. So pretty much I just went through the book and looked at like the different things. Chapter 1, introduction. Got it. And then we made it to intentional torts. So it's intentional torts, and then goes to intent in general. And then it gets battery. So intent in general, battery, and you get the point. So I just went through the book and pretty much found all the topics. And yeah, so I started like this. This was like my skeleton. And then I ended up with this. So I went through and I found the definition and like the important stuff, and I also incorporated some stuff from my notes. So for example, when it goes to battery, I put the definition of battery from the book, but then I also put the definition that my professor said in class. And then I took the rule from each case. So one rule for battery is a print can be a battery, and then I put in parentheses the case that it came from, and just like a quick little thing so I can remember what the case was about. So it was myself, Regine, Jasmine, and Nicole. So that was our study group. We all had the same professor at the same time, so we created a little study group. It took us about 3 hours to do one chapter, and we just like wrote down the rules and stuff. We didn't even like, we did a little bit of like discussion, but not that much. So I'm still like unclear about some topics. But something that I also did was I commented using Microsoft Word questions for my professor. So I'm gonna go to office hours and ask him these questions so I can be ready for the test. You know, law school is only one test. I think the outline is like, because you can't study this whole book. This book is 1,000 pages. Like I literally can't go through this book and like learn everything. So the outline is just a way to like the outline is a way to outline the things that you need to know. I need to stop saying the word and the definition of the word. Bria, you learn that in like middle school. Yeah, so I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. As you can see, I'm still very, very, very new to this law school stuff. I'm still learning for myself. So if I'm not of a help to you guys, don't hate me. You don't have to watch my videos. But if you did like it, if you did learn something, please like, please comment, subscribe, give me words of encouragement, because y'all, this can get stressful. But I am finding plenty of time to de-stress. Probably a lot more than I should be finding. I'm also trying to make sure I get involved. Found some organizations that I'm interested in, the public interest group, as well as BALSA, which I talk about all the time. What else am I interested in? Oh, the Family Law Society, y'all. They so poppin'. Like, I already know the internship that I want for the summer because of them. They told me about it, so pray for it. Pray for it. But yeah, that's all.